So, I'm back with 3 more laws of stupidity.
Why?
Let me tell you why. For a large part of my life, I believed that we always have this good versus evil battle. Until I realized that it isn't that simple. Besides good and evil, there is another category, and it is significantly big. So my research led to an article by Carlo Cipolla. In fact, my earlier video was based on that. I also came across the work of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was a German theologian, and based on his theory and other people's work, I have come up with 3 more laws of stupidity. One of the quotes of Bonhoeffer in particular caught my attention. He says, "Stupidity is a more dangerous enemy of the good than evil." You see, with stupidity, or stupid people for that matter, protesting or reasoning doesn't really work. This is mainly because of their strong prejudice. They simply disbelieve any facts or reasoning that we provide. In fact, in most cases, they either simply deny the arguments, and if they can't, then they call them trivial exceptions. And therefore, we can reasonably deduce the 6th law of stupidity. Stupid people cannot be persuaded with due reasoning or protesting. Interestingly, Bonhoeffer calls stupidity a defect, and he says that people who spend more time in solitude do not manifest this defect frequently compared to those who are often inclined or almost condemned to sociability. This implies that stupidity is perhaps less of a psychological problem and more of a sociological one. It is surely not a congenital defect. People are often made stupid under circumstances. Maybe they allow this to happen to themselves. It is a group phenomena though. I sincerely believe that if we want to get the better of anything, we must understand its nature. So if we want to get the better of stupidity, we must seek to understand its nature. And the nature of stupidity has its roots deep in subconscious. It is largely driven by the fundamental mechanics of our experience. We are social animals, and this very sociability also is at the base of stupidity. Many heuristics evolved over time for us to be able to navigate the world effectively. And one of those heuristics is following the herd. It is arguably the most prominent one, and mostly it does make sense. If the information is lacking, doing what others are doing is probably the best bet. But this doesn't work all the time. In fact, herd behavior is among the preeminent causes of stupidity. There is an interesting experiment which was done by psychologist Solomon Asch that highlights this human folly. It shows how social pressure can sway a person to adopt positions that go against all the logic.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length.
In the 12 experiments he conducted on conformity, around 75% of the participants conformed to the majority view at least once. And it means 75% of the people doing the study were pushed to say an answer which was clearly wrong. And it happened because of peer pressure. Unfortunately, this is how stupidity allows evil to rise up.
2. 2. 2. 2. 2.
But why did participants conform so easily? When they were interviewed after the experiment, most of them said that they did not really believe their conforming answers. And yet, they chose to go along with the group for fear of being ridiculed. Some said that they really did believe the group's answers were correct.
Asch's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure.
The point is, it is apparent that people conform for 2 main reasons. Firstly, because they do want to fit in within the group. And secondly, because they do believe that the group is better informed than they are. And so, Here comes the seventh law of stupidity. Stupidity often arises from the lack of independent thinking, following the herd blindly, or both. Bonhoeffer was known for his staunch resistance to Nazi dictatorship, including vocal opposition to Hitler. So it doesn't surprise me as he says that the power of one needs the stupidity of many others. So it's not that intellect suddenly fails, but people are deprived of inner independence. And so they give up autonomous positions under the overwhelming impact. The stupid person is often stubborn. Still, it shouldn't blind us of the fact that the person is not independently thinking anymore. And that helps me draw the eighth law of stupidity. Stupidity thrives under dictatorship, authoritarian or totalitarian leaderships. If you ever had to interact or even tried to have a constructive debate with a stupid person, you would know how difficult that conversation can be. It almost feels like we are not talking to the person at all, the person as we know it. It feels like we are talking to a PR person, relationship officer, or advertiser of someone else. And we always feel that we are dealing with slogans, signs, buzzwords, and not with the real person, as if they are under the spell of someone or something.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
Bonhoeffer says that stupid people who are being used like this often become mindless tools. They become capable of any evil, and at the same time they become incapable of seeing that it is evil.
The real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb.
You see, the real problem, the biggest problem of our world today is not artificial intelligence, but natural stupidity. Our problem is that on one side we have intelligent people who are full of doubts, and on the other side we have stupid people full of confidence. Stupidity is not an intellectual failing, it's a moral failing, and it happens because we believe only in feelings and not in facts or truthfulness. This is similar to someone going for taste over nutritional value for their food. According to Socrates, smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people learn from their experiences, but stupids already have answers. There are so many people I see every day who cannot make a coherent argument. It is one of the painful signs of our dumbed down, mass-producing education system. So instead, they vent their emotions. They question others' motives. They make assertions. They use buzzwords and jargon. Anything and everything except reason. When we see and hear all this, we wonder if there is any antidote, if there is any way to stop this from happening. Bonhoeffer said, and I certainly agree to that action does not spring from thought, but from readiness for responsibility. The ultimate test of a moral society is the kind of world that it leaves to its children. The ability to think independently is a special and precious competency, and I strongly believe that the future belongs to those who dare to think differently and question the defaults, to those who learn how to solve problems in new ways, who are comfortable figuring things out and dealing with failure, to those who generalize and then specialize, who analyze and then synthesize, and to those who master the art of thinking, rethinking and unlearning. Stupidity has become a great pandemic where intellect dies every day. So now the question is, how are we going to fight this pandemic? You see, the real problem, the biggest problem of our world today is not artificial intelligence, but the plane flying above.